Welcome back to the 6-part series where we dive into the curriculum that I teach in my mentorship program. That also lives in what I call the 20s Handbook, which is a 40-page handbook I built for people to essentially read what it is that took me from when I was 20, 21, experiencing all the success I'd ever dreamed of, YouTube success, the money, the supercars, the traveling, the girls, the status, unfulfilled, confused, frustrated, to where I am today, where I no longer idolize those things, where I'm truly mission-driven, purpose-filled, and so clear on not only my identity and who I am, but what it is I have to offer. And so the curriculum consists of 6 things. It's character, community, communication, faith, which we offer gently, business and finance, health, and fitness. The first episode was on character. It was the one outside of faith that I feel is most important, most complex. It's probably the episode of this series where I'm rambling the most because it is so intricate. I will only be doing faith as the final piece of this series, not because I think it's less important, but just because though I think it is most important, I want to again offer it gently. I also think they're all extremely important, which is why they're a part of the curriculum, which is why they're a part of my story, and I think why they essentially encompass all the important parts of personal development in our life. But for some reason, the second one that comes to mind today that I want to talk about is community. That if I'm looking at what trickles from what comes and flows through into the others more prevalently, I think it's through community. I have always firmly believed that you are the product of your 5 closest friends, and if it's not 5, you are a product of those whom you surround yourself with. You could be an extremely good person. You could have very ambitious goals and be so focused on heading in this direction, but if your entire community is heading in the opposite direction, they will pull you back. Naturally, it's inevitable. So instead of limiting time with a bad community, you need to also be building a good community. People that are like-minded, people that are heading in the same direction. Maybe they're not even where you're at in life, but you know that they will have their hand out asking you to bring them with you. That says, I'm willing to do whatever, not going back and trying to bring people with you who don't even want to go in that direction. And better yet, people who are ahead of you, people that can mentor and disciple you and bring you to a place that you haven't been yet, or to show you what doors to avoid and what doors to walk through. When I look at my life in 2020, 2021, I have always had a way of seeing people's hearts that's been a pro and a con of mine. It has been a pro because I feel that at our core, humans are innately good, which ironically is some people's defense against faith, when I think the truth is we are all made in the image of God, no matter how much the world has tried separating us from Him, no matter how much the world has put in between us. I think at our core, the one thing we cannot explain is that we all have a general understanding of what is good and what is bad. Who set that standard? It's in our DNA. Before the enemy was running rampant, before sin, that was the only capacity that we were designed to operate from. And so in that season, I was surrounding myself with people who were in similar seasons to me, people who were experiencing a ton of success, people who had some level of status in social media or digital media, people with supercars and affluence, people who came from money. And ironically, those people who I saw had good hearts were still broken people and still let me down, and were still not being good examples on me, and were in part a reason for why I was the way I was and the place I was at in life. Essentially being held back from progressing forward as a man, from progressing forward in my health. Through my obsession with personal development and through becoming infatuated with fitness and health and through later finding my faith, I started surrounding myself with better people. I started figuring out, despite people's intentions, who was actually producing fruit in their life, fruit in which I also wanted to produce, outcomes in which I also wanted to have. And I can tell you today that this journey of mine wasn't done on my own, right? It says if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. Stressing the importance of having good community around you and what that can do in your journey of pursuing something, in pursuing who you want to become. You surround yourself with those who are on a similar mission, and you collectively will go far. Sometimes with clients, it's people who are realizing in this season of transformation that this group of friends that they've known for years just aren't on the same path, aren't aligned when it comes to values, aren't aligned when it comes to habits. And so the encouragement is you can still love people and let them go at the same time. You can also identify with those whom you love that you are in 2 different seasons, and that's okay. It's not this selfish mentality the world tells you to have, that like, if people aren't of value, cut them off. You don't need to cut them off. You just need to prioritize other communities. You need to find people that are in a more similar season to you, that are heading in the same direction and still loving those who perhaps aren't. And then we have clients who are going through breakups or just came out of a bad relationship and they feel more alone than ever. And it's that dilemma I always talk about, where your spouse, your partner, becomes your support system. It transfers from your family and friends over to your spouse. It's who you tell most things to. It's who you confide in. When that relationship comes to an end, perhaps, that process of moving that support system back over to your family and friends doesn't happen overnight. And so I have the blessing to encourage people different ways in which they can at least speed that process up. You don't need to have that tough guy, tough girl mentality and think I can do this myself. You need to be vulnerable and open up and be okay with, this is my circumstance and I really need you guys right now. You can be independent as an adult and also depend on your family and friends. Those two things can mutually exist. They are not mutually exclusive. That takes humility, the ability to audit where you're at and say, I'm not okay right now. I'm struggling right now. Who in my life is there for me? Who in my life wouldn't be burdened by any of my problems? Oh, that's right. The people who love me, the people who truly care of me, would rather me come to them with my problems than not. Community is a solution to so many people's problems, but it requires an intentionality. And often it requires vulnerability and discomfort. It's not easy to make new friends sometimes in adulthood. It's just not. Sometimes you put yourself out there. You're not going to make a ton of new friends sitting in your house. You're not going to make a ton of new friends if you're extremely judgmental every time you meet someone with the expectation that they need to be exactly like you. That because they're not this or they're not that, they're not as cool as you, or they're not sufficient to be your friend. Sometimes it takes seeing people at their core, the way that Christ sees people. I have found in my life, as far as building community, that I have built intimate relationships with people I would have never otherwise built relationships with, whom our deepest thing we have in common is our belief in Jesus, is our faith. And that's sufficient enough for the entire relationship. And the differences exist in this really special, beautiful way. And I've learned a lot from those people, because it's not this echo chamber that I'd been building in my previous communities of these people that were exactly like me or that were as cool as me. Cool as me by what standard? Like, cool is so subjective. I would encourage y'all to be careful with the way that you stamp that on people. You stamp that on sports and activities and identities. Because I've met some of the coolest people ever who look and act nothing like me. Oftentimes I think are so cool because of their fervent pursuit in a relationship with the Lord. The way they show up for other people. Their story being so different to mine, being from a completely different generation than me. Sometimes increasing the age gap between you and your friends, or sometimes even decreasing depending on the season, is really valuable, because you're getting the perspective and the wisdom from somebody who, again, doesn't exist within your age demographic. There's something special with that. And all of these things took time to learn. Like when I look back again to 2021, I didn't view community like this. I had too much pride or ego to be friends with certain people. I was more meticulous about my friends looking and acting like me. And where did that leave me? Broken at times. It left me dealing with the repercussions of that. Such a large reason today that I'm able to keep up with these health and fitness habits, eating clean, prioritizing my sleep, and doing all these outdoor activities is because the community I surround myself with also does that. And arguably often inspire me to do it even more. The reason I've been able to develop such a strong relationship with the Lord as a new believer is because I've surrounded myself with some of the most beautifully inspiring believers, those who truly have shown me the love of Christ and have shown me what it looks like to walk in the life that God calls us to. That has been so beneficial to me. The wisdom I've gained from that is not wisdom I could have found in a book outside of the Bible, watching a YouTube video, buying a course. Like, it just doesn't exist. Not even buying my program. Like, there are things that you can do in your own life that will always surpass the information someone else can give to you or the conviction someone else can try and impart on you. And so I encourage you today to not only audit your community, see who is holding you back and who is encouraging you forward. And again, you don't need to have this savage mentality of cutting people off because they're not on the same path as you. Spend a moment and understand the season they're in. Understand the difference in their upbringing. Like, for example, this expectation that non-believers are to live a sin-free life is weird. Like, they don't know Jesus. They have no conviction in them to walk like that. So why are you expecting them to be like that? In the same way, we expect all of our friends in our community to pursue the same things as us because we think that our goals are the objective goals everyone should have. And that's not always the case. People have to learn at sometimes a different rate than you do. Those friends perhaps who are in a different season or who aren't keeping up just maybe aren't friends for you in this season, and maybe they are in the future. Create an awareness, just like our previous episode, of how your community is affecting you. Because it's possible that your community is one of the reasons you haven't gotten to where you want to be. Even better yet, you might even be that person in your community, which I talked about in another video before. And that's a scary thought. You might be the one in the community holding everybody back. And boy, would that suck to be unaware of. Because what a joy it would be to be in that community of a bunch of people who are crushing way harder than you, as long as you had this desperation to head in the same direction as them. Then you wouldn't be holding them back. They would just be pulling you forward. I'd also encourage you to lean on your community. Be more vulnerable with your community. Having a facade with those closest to you isn't benefiting you a single bit. Trying to be someone you're not in hopes of your community thinking better or different of you is not beneficial to you at all. If you're here and you're acting like you're here, your friends will not help you get here. You need to be transparent with where you're at so that friends can encourage you to head in the direction you want to head. I think that's it. And my legs didn't fall asleep this episode.